Volkswagen has introduced a very interesting new button on its new Tiguan. It's in the center console, so as you can see it's got an LED display. As I move my finger towards it, it becomes active and I can use it to increase the volume of the stereo. But also I can toggle it by pressing it in to control the different driver modes, so I can switch between them: Eco, Comfort, Sport and Individual, and you can see on there on the screen me controlling it as well. But is that useful? We'll find out in this video because I'm going to review the new Volkswagen Tiguan. I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow. This new Tiguan isn't quite as new as you may think. You see, underneath the skin it shares a lot of its parts with the previous Tiguan, but everything you see is new. So we've got a new front design here, and look at this, go and turn on the lights. You get a daytime running light right across the front like that. Now this is the R line, so it's got a sporty look to it, so this more aggressive lower bumper that's coloured in black, and the vents around here and stuff, they are real. If you look here, you will see that there's actual air vents, help smooth air over the wheels and improve efficiency. Speaking of wheels, they start at 17 inches. These are the largest ones you can get. They're 20 inches. More on those later because they are important and they do affect the car. Once again, being the R line, we've got the R badging, we've got contrasting door mirrors, we've got black surrounds here like that, and we've got the black roof bars. Now, lesser versions don't have the black trim and they don't have some of the bits and pieces, and you can get an elegance model which replaces the black for chrome. Moving to the back, we've got a light bar running the full width. You don't have the full width light bar at the back on the lower spec versions. Let's have the light off so we can have a look at what it looks like without them on. You've got your VW badge there, you've got your Tiguan badge under there, and no fake exhaust anywhere to be seen, just a sort of fake diffuser. But that's fine. You know, it's not offensive looking, it's not particularly exciting either. It's just okay. But what about the price? Here on CarWow, you can see the prices start from £34,000 rising to 48, and you can save an average of £2,700 off a Tiguan through CarWow. The Tiguan has an all-new cabin design. They've redesigned the dash. We've got leather on this one, blue piping because it's the R line. And the top spec cars get this panel here, and we've got ambient lighting, and I can change the colours of these little patterns on there. So look at this, go on changing colour by changing the mode. It also changes the colour here on the door panels as well. Yeah, very snazzy. In terms of quality, so that squidgy materials up here, it's not soft-ish there, soft-ish there. Let's check this center console, it's solid, but as you go low down things do get a little bit scratchy, and down here scratchy. I guess what they've done is spent the money on things like this, the ambient lighting. Yeah, they have, haven't they? Also the tech as well. Look at the size of this screen. This is actually the upgraded screen, so it's 2 inches bigger than the standard screen, which is actually big enough. But you know, if you've got the opportunity of an extra 2 inches, you're always going to take them, aren't you? So the system itself is okay and quite easy to operate. It's a touch laggy though. Let's get the nav. Where are you, nav? There we go, look, see, it's not the smoothest. Biggest problem though is that you have to control the climate through here, so you can shortcut some of the controls by these sliders here, which are now backlit. They didn't used to be backlit, and you can double tap them to do certain things. I think it's that for the seats. Yeah, there we go, you can double tap for the seats. Can you see? So once you get used to it, it's not terrible, but you do end up having to go into this menu, and then it's one too many presses and a bit of a faff. I'd rather have some knobs that you can easily access when you're driving. So it's all right, it's not the best in the world, and you do get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so really that's what you're going to run on this most of the time. Then you've got this digital driver's display. Once again, lots of different menus and options that you can like cycle through, and different views and what have you. All very clear, very easy to use, and it's got all the information you could need. One thing that I really like is this. They have put the gear selector up here, just so much easier to use when you're driving. Well, I don't know why people put them down there, I just don't. Speaking of down here, there's that new button. We'll come to that a little bit later on, but I want to show you the storage solutions here. So the first thing is that under here you've got a nice big useful area, and you can remove these bits so you can fit bigger things in there, or you can use that to hold a large bottle. Actually in there for some reason they put the 12-volt socket. But there we go. Right, here you have cup holders, so they're quite good, so they can grip different size bottles. That doesn't wobble about too much, and if you don't want to use that you can actually remove it like that. Then here we have a pad for your mobile phone, so you've got wireless charging for the mobile phone there. Look at this, see, it keeps your mobile phone out of sight. But if you look underneath here, you will see those gaps? That's because there's a fan under there, so it'll fan your phone so it doesn't overheat when wireless charging. And then if you don't want to use wireless charging because it's too darn slow, you can use these USB-Cs there. And more on those in a bit, because there's something interesting about those as well. Or you can just put your mobile phone up there where you can see it, but it might distract you, so don't do that. Anyway, door bins, as with other Volkswagens, lined with felt to stop things rattling, and they should hold a big bottle. Look at that, plenty of room in there. glove box, plenty of room in there too. And of course, you've got the sunglasses holder up here. Fit massive glasses in there, though you do have to slam it to shut it. Got big sun visors, large vanity mirror as well. All very useful, very practical, and the driving position is pretty good as well. And this one has the R-line steering wheel, so it's got a slightly sportier look to it, and you've got all your controls on there. Thankfully, they're not touch-sensitive buttons, they're actual physical buttons, so it's less likely you'll accidentally press them when you're driving. The seats, well, being the R-line, we've got the sport seats on here, so they're a bit more body-hugging than the standard seats, and of course, there's plenty of adjustment in them. And it's really easy to get an ideal driving position. Lots and lots of adjustment in the steering wheel as well. You know, I like this. The fact you can just raise that up, get to the right height, and then you can just drive the car along like that. It's nice and chilled. The interior is nice, however, I do think that the interior design on a Peugeot 3008 is slightly cooler. Look how much room there is in the back of this Tiguan. So, lots of knee room. Look at the foot space, huge footwells, and you can really stretch out underneath the seat in front. Then there's the headroom. That's excellent as well. And look, you can do this. You can slide the seats forwards and backwards. And there is also the ability, if I can find the strap, to recline them. Look, you can have them more upright if you want. Who wants that? Or reclined. They're really comfy, the seats as well. Now, when it comes to carrying 3 in the back at once, it's actually very, very good. So, yes, there's this hump in the floor, but it's not that fat, so you can quite easily straddle it. And even with 3 adults in the back at once, there's enough foot space and there's enough shoulder room. That's really, really good. It's also good for carrying babies because the child seats are really easy to fix. The ISOFIX anchor points are dead easy to get to, and the doors open fairly wide as well. Look at that. And there's enough space back here that you can fit a bulky rear-facing seat without having to move the front passenger seat forward. All good news. What's also good news is this. Look. The back windows, which are huge and give you a great view out, go all the way down. And I'm not sure if you can see this. Look, 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 come back. Can you see this? Yeah, look, double glazed. That helps with the sound insulation. Now, you've got plenty of practicality here as well. Look, you've got pockets there. And the seat backs, then there's another pocket there. Actually, let's just show you. You put your mobile phone in there like that and watch it. And you've got your USB-Cs down here. And all but the entry-level car gets climate control here in the rear as well. The door bins are massive. Look, once again, in back here, lined with felt, huge. And if I fold this down, you will see we've got the armrest and cup holders in there. Hello, I'm the cup holders. Right, and you've got through loading as well. Look, if you need to carry longer items than 2 people in the back at the same time. It's really good. Is there anything else to tell you? I feel like there is, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, I know. At some point, you'll be able to get a 7-seater car based on this. It won't be called the Tiguan, but if you can't wait until then, you might want to check out the Skoda Kodiaq, right? In case you're wondering, Skoda named its Kodiaq after the big brown bear. Also, Volkswagen has named its Tiguan after an animal. Actually, it's 2 animals, and they're illustrated on the rear windows. So the first animal is the tiger, and the other animal is the iguana. And sometimes ChatGPT just chimes in for no reason. What are you talking? It's buggered off again. It's mad, it's lost it. The new Tiguan's boot is a whole 37 litres larger than the previous generation car. It's really big and practical. Now, the actual capacity is 652 litres, and as you can see, look, we have no load lip to this stuff over, so I can just shimmy out, no problem at all. If you'd like to vacate as well. So you can fit 2 men in there. Now, the 652 litres is actually measured with those seats pushed all the way forward, so it's actually a bit smaller in reality. And under here you have some storage, and as you can see, the low cover can fit under there, which is great news. Now, other features we've got in the boot. Oh, we got hooks here. There's another one over the other side. No, there's not. There's that button. More on that in a bit. And then you have these levers to lower the rear seats like that. Right. They don't lie completely flat, but you do have a continuous floor when you have this in the raised position. James, would you mind just illustrating how you can slide things easily to the front? Go slide easily to the front. Slide easily. Okay, that's good. Now, I wouldn't mind you just moving your legs off this bit, because I want to explain that if you get the hybrid version of this car, some of this storage underneath here, it's eaten up with some of the batteries for the hybrid system, and so it's not quite as practical. And that brings you on to 5 annoying things about the new Volkswagen Tiguan. This toggle dial here seems like a bit of a missed opportunity. It's handy to have it for driving mode, I get that, right? But why go for volume as the other option? Why volume? Because the volume control is just there, and also you can, shut up, or you can do it here on the steering wheel. Why do you need another one here? It would be better if they chose to actually have the fan speed on there instead, because to operate the fan speed, you have to do, where is it? There it is, look, there. No, I want to be more precise there. See? If it was there, it'd be easier. The integrated headrest design of the R Sport seats do block rear passengers' forward visibility, and that can make it a little bit more likely for them to get car sick. It's great this car has a heads-up display, because it displays things like the speed and information about the lane keeping assist and all of that onto the road ahead of you. But if, like me, you like polarized lenses in your sunglasses to reduce reflections, you then can't see it. Now the cameraman is just altering the polarized lens on the front of our camera to give you an idea what it looks like for me when I'm looking through the windscreen with my polarized lens. That heads-up display image just disappears. Now you actually don't have that problem when you have the cheaper heads-up displays, you know, the ones that have that little piece of plastic that rises out the dash and it displays the image on there. You can see those with polarized lenses, just not the proper ones, which are actually better, though with these lenses, worse. For some reason this car has terribly creaky brakes. Have a listen. What's that all about? That's not very Volkswagen. Yeah. The definition of the reversing camera really is pretty low. You'd think the VW would have a better system. Here's an example of a reversing camera on another car that is similar in price. It's way better than this, isn't it? It's not all negative though. Here's 5 good things about this car. The Tiguan comes with integrated ChatGPT, so you can ask it questions. So let's say you're driving along, you're having an argument about something, you can say, "Hey Ida, which car maker will not let Matt Watson review its cars?"
From ChatGPT, the car maker that will not let Matt Watson review its cars is Ferrari.
Yeah, do you know what? That's true. They don't like me drag racing cars, so they just won't lend me any to review. The USB-C sockets have 45 watts of power, which means that you can charge a laptop. There's the sound. Look. Ooh, the charge symbol. Went in. You can get a tow hitch fitted to the car for £1,000 extra, and it's electrically deployable. Look, it drops down like that, then you just lock it into place. Included in that package is trailer assist. So what that allows you to do is set the angle that you want the trailer to go at using the little switch for the door mirror, so you don't have to like do this kind of like mental arithmetic to figure out whether you need to steer that way or that way to make the trailer go that way or that way. It's really handy. Also for £1,000 you can fit the optional adaptive dampers, and they have a wide range of operation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 different levels of stiffness. There's ISOFIX, look, on the front passenger seat, and it's dead easy to get to. So I'll show you how easy it is to fit a child seat here in the front, especially because someone else is doing it. As he scratches the car. Are we in? You locked in? Okay, good. Yeah. So let's rotate it around to show how much space there is for a rear-facing seat. Look at that, you can have your child next to you. So my child, please jump in here. Oh. Engine choices on the Tiguan start with a 130 horsepower 1.5 litre turbo petrol. Then there's a 150 horsepower 1.5 litre turbo petrol, which is what this car is. You can get a 2 litre turbo diesel with 150 horsepower. And then there's 2 plug-in hybrids. Both use the 1.5 litre turbo petrol engine. One has 204 horsepower. The other one has 272 horsepower. Now those plug-in hybrids have a 20 kilowatt hour battery pack, which makes them good for a range of electric only power up to 70 miles, which is pretty good. And those cars will be good in terms of benefiting kind if you're having them as a company car driver. Right, now let's see what this Tiguan's like to drive. And the first thing I need to show you is this. I have got the suspension in its softest setting, and this is why you're going to want the adaptive dampers. Because if you go for this R line with the big 20-inch alloy wheels, the ride over bumps can be quite jarring unless you have the adaptive dampers and can go into the very squidgiest setting. Even then you feel the bumps a little bit more than you'd imagine. I'm going to actually put it into sport mode. There we go, sport. Now the ride is a little bit overly firm for this kind of car. If I was on smaller wheels, it wouldn't be so bad because I'd have the extra cushioning of the bigger, squidgier tyre. On these 20s, it's just not quite what you're expecting. It's a bit of a shame because this is otherwise a really, really relaxing car to drive in town. Just going to do a U-turn here. Turning circles, I think it's about 11.7. It's about par for the course for this kind of vehicle. I'm going to whack it into reverse. Love having the gear selector there to bring up the cameras. There we go. I think I might have got off to a bad start already, but we'll see with the cameras. Look, yeah, no, it's all right there. It's going to have to be a 3-point turner. But the cameras do allow me to get super close to the parked cars. Beep, beep, beep. Look at that, it's easy. Why don't all cars have the gear selector there? Should do. Steering's reasonably light, visibility is good, decent view out the back window. Even over the shoulder visibility is good when you're approaching junctions and stuff like that because you've got that extra window in the back. Only problem is this big pillar, but it's not too bad, and view forward because you're raised up is good as well. Huge door mirrors, liking all of that. Oh hello, don't walk into the road. Although, let me just check. Yes, the brakes, nice and progressive, so not grabby at all and easy to judge. Thing is though, if you're doing a lot of town work, you're probably going to want one of the plug-in hybrids because then you can mooch about in town silently, just under an electric power. One problem I have with this 1.5 is the pickup when you put your foot down. Look, see that? It's not great. So when you're trying to like nip across the lights and stuff like that, you can be left floundering, and yes, here we go, you see, we're now at red. I have to wait for a bit. So I probably would want the plug-in hybrid. It'll also be better as well if you're a company car driver because you've got that benefit in kind is going to be lower with the plug-in hybrid. Though, do you know what? It wouldn't be my engine of choice as a private buyer. I would go for the diesel. A lot of people, wouldn't have a diesel. Diesel's like a dirty word, isn't it? But actually, to drive, that added punch, that in-gear punch that you get from a diesel really suits this kind of car. It's a shame, really, that everyone's gone off diesel. Right, now let's see how this car responds when you need a burst of speed. So we're at a dual carriageway, you get to 40 miles an hour, and now I'm going to accelerate. 3, 2, 1, go. Flooring it. Bit of a delay. Okay, so you probably heard that. The engine, this 1.5, starts to scream at the top end. It lacks a little bit of punch for this size of car, I think. One of the advantages of the plug-in hybrid is that you're going to have a bit more oomph because you've got the addition of that electric motor. If you're doing lots of miles, you're going to want a diesel. It's going to give you good economy, it's going to have good in-gear punch. I think this 1.5, without the hybrid assistance, if you've got a car full of people, it's not going to be great. And then there's the economy. You see, this car's only averaging 35 miles to the gallon. I say only. I think the diesel would do about 40 to 45 miles to the gallon, and the plug-in hybrid, obviously, if you're not going too far and you do charge it up, will do even more. This is the wrong engine, I think. I wouldn't go for this one. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because actually, overall, this car for cruising is really good. It's quiet enough. Bit of road noise, that's all. Seats are super comfy. Now let's just check out how well this Tiguan handles. So I'm going to go into sports mode now. Could be lots of regret because of the suspension getting a bit firm, as well as stiffening up the suspension. It's sharpened the throttle response. Also made the steering slightly heavier though. I'm hardly noticing it. Oh, here we go. Yeah, classic Tiguan. It just does the job. It grips nicely. It's all predictable, all safe. You can easily go at the speed limit down a twisty road. No bother at all. I'm not enjoying this suspension though. Let's go individual. Can't do this while driving. Probably not a good idea. Drive. Sport. Let's just leave it like that. So drive's in sport now. In fact, I'm going to change gears myself using the paddles. Sometimes when you put your foot down, it's like you're not got it in gear and it goes and slips a bit. It's a bit odd. I think it's just the engine because it lacks torque. Look, flooring in. Yeah, I definitely prefer the diesel. Volkswagen says this version of the Tiguan should do 0 to 60 in 9.1 seconds. But what's the reality? Let's find out. Believe it or not, if you put this car in its sporty setting, it has launch control. Look, here we go. Easy away. What we got? 8.79. It does the time just fine, though it does complain about it with a no, stop kind of like noise from the engine. So then, what's my final verdict on the new Volkswagen Tiguan? Should you avoid it, consider it, shortlist it, or just go right ahead and buy it? Well, I reckon you should shortlist the Tiguan. You know, it really is a good all-round family car, but if you shop wisely on CarWow, you might be able to get a better car for similar money. Anyway, if you want to watch some other videos, then just click on the video windows, and if you want to change your car the easy way, just click on the CarWow logo to head to CarWow. Thanks for watching.